I've been told that because of the space that we have in front, that I'm going to be able to preach to you without the mask. This also is to help those who are watching online be able to see my mouth, hopefully read lips, and make it a better experience for them as well. This is a very interesting week with students going back to campus, and Paul's starting second grade tomorrow. Maddie is in her last year of pre-K before she goes into, I don't know, high school. I lose count. The Minecraft book bag is Paul's, and the Kitty Cat book bag, of course, is mine. So, but my thoughts are with all the students, be they going into kindergarten, high school, college, as they make that transition. Sometimes it takes a deer to attack you for you to commit to Jesus. It's okay to laugh. When we were on vacation, we had the chance to go to a deer park. I don't know if any of you have ever gone to a deer park before. Now, they are great places where you get to meet and pet deer, goats, llamas, and even chase a peacock or two. But when you go to a deer park, you have to have a plan. And we had a great plan. We told the kids that they would each get their own treat bag filled with peanuts and seeds to feed the animals. Then we told them we would go through 2 gates. Now, the first gate led us into a small area called the safe zone, the place where you can get your game faces on. Now, this is when I noticed that we were the only family at this deer park. It was late in the day, and the afternoon crowd had already left, and the animals were already walking toward us. I said, Paul, Maddie, when I open this gate, you walk out and start feeding the animals. I opened the gate, and the kids hid behind me. Now, while we tried to get the kids to move, here came the deer, right into the safe zone. And instead of all for one and one for all, it quickly became every Conrad for themselves. Now, somehow I was able to run into the park, and what started out as a great plan quickly turned into a night of the living deer situation. Now, remember how I said I had gotten Paul and Maddie their own treat bags? Well, somehow I ended up with Paul's bag, and the animals showed no mercy. They ate the peanuts in my hand. They stuck their big noses and ate the food in the bag. They ate the bag. One of them ate one of my masks that I had in my back pocket, and one of them bit me in my behind. Now, let me tell you, going through this, I started to highly reconsider my position of slowing down the next time I see a deer cross a road. Coming back from Lake Erie, there were a couple times you see some deer near the road, and I'm like, brakes? Maybe not. But once the animals figured out that I had nothing left to give, they walked away. So there I was in the middle of the deer park, holding a torn paper bag, 1 seed left in my hand, a deer bite marks all over my behind, and my Apple Watch telling me that my heart was about to explode. Which, if you don't know, when your heart is exploding, there's a really cool little graphic that goes, poof. Now, you would think that a day at the deer park would not end in carnage and chaos. But on the bright side, sometimes it takes a deer to attack you for you to commit to Jesus. The problem our family had with this deer apocalypse was that we were not committed. We were not committed to the plan. If we had followed the plan, the deer would still come, but the only sounds would have come from the deer and not the screams that were coming from me. I meant my children. We weren't committed. We weren't all in, and it cost us. The disaster at the deer park is very similar to the state of Christianity here in America and around the world. It is similar because we Christians are not committed. We are not committed to the plan. We are not committed to the good news plan, which means we are not committed to Jesus. And because we are not committed, we have been overrun, not by deer, but by sin, chaos, and death. Just in the last 17 months, going on 18 months, we have been overrun by a deadly virus, racial injustice, protests, riots, an election that in some people's minds is still going on, an insurrection in our own capital, a vaccine miracle, an anti-vaccine battle, a deadly virus variant. Oh, did I mention natural disasters still? Hurricanes, and the horrible disaster of what is going on in Afghanistan. Folks, that is a lot to handle. And as I was writing this, again, I want to refer to our students, our young people, because with everything else going on, imagine being cheated out of your senior year at college, or your senior year at high school, or being cheated out of that wonderful time either in high school or in college. It's been taken away from them. Folks, that's a lot to handle. It's a lot for our minds, our souls, and our faith to handle. It is so much that our inclination is not to live, but to hide, and for some, to give up. Except Jesus. Jesus does not give up. Jesus never gives up on this world, on this creation, and on us. Today, I ask you to join me and let us give up on the chaos and come to Jesus. Today, let us commit to Jesus. Now, here's what I mean by commit. Dedicate your heart to Jesus. Dedicate your life to Jesus. Make loving Jesus with your heart and life your top relationship, your first relationship, and then treat it like it is real. Treat it like it is real. For example, Kristen and I work every day to make our relationship better. In fact, just this last Thursday, we celebrated 14 years of marriage. And you know how we celebrated? Takeout. Yes! And we watch TV together. But in our life together, we do work every day to keep our relationship strong and to grow stronger and deeper. And some days are better than others. But those days are overall better because we have one another. Now, for those of you who are married or in long-term relationships, I am sure you do the same with your partner. And for those of you who are single, I'm sure you do this with your partner and with your family and your dearest friends. And one thing each of these relationships have in common is that relationships take time. Now imagine if we only spent 45 minutes, an hour, a week on our relationships. Imagine where our relationships would be. Where would our commitment be to one another? If I only spent that small amount of time with Kristen, I'm sure I would need a name tag and a reason for staying in the same house with her. Sadly, we Christians have convinced ourselves that 45 minutes, an hour that we spend with Jesus on a Sunday morning is enough for our relationship with Jesus. Because for some, 1 hour feels like 12. And because we have only spent an hour with Jesus, our relationship with Jesus has suffered. It has shrunk. And it has left us vulnerable to other voices. I will go ahead and call what those other voices are. They are false prophets. They are liars. Liars who do not want a relationship with you. They are liars who only want your attention, your money, and your allegiance. And to be honest, folks, we have opened the gates to too many other gods in our lives. We have let them come into our safety zones and rob us of our money, our time, our dignity, our values, and our hearts, and most importantly, our identity as children of God. And because we have been robbed of so much, it makes it easier for us to hate, to fear, to bully, to fight, to hurt, and to not care about anything or anyone but ourselves. We suspect everything. We suspect everyone. We think and we have been convinced that everybody is out to get us. We have been laid bare. We have lost our way. We have lost. I now want to invite you to do something. I want you all to please close your eyes. Close your eyes, and I want you to imagine yourselves being lost in a wilderness, in a desert, in a dark and lonely place. And as you close your eyes, I want you to picture a light shining down on you, and then a hand reaching out to you. And listen closely as you keep your eyes closed. I am here. I am always here. Don't give up. For I, the Lord your God, hold your right hand. It is I who say to you, do not fear. I will help you. And now I want you to open your eyes, and I want you to look straight ahead at the cross on the altar and look at the beautiful picture of Jesus at the top of the altar. And now I want you to hold out your hand or hands forward, reaching for the altar. Because the amazing thing about Jesus is that we don't reach out and then Jesus reaches back. Jesus already has his hands out to us. Jesus already has his hands reaching out to us. He already has his eyes looking at us. He already has his ears listening to us. He already has his heart loving us. And he already has his life dying for us and saving us. Jesus already is committed to a relationship with each and every one of us. Jesus already is committed to spending every single minute of our day with us, being present, being seen, being heard, and being followed. Jesus already is committed to doing this, even when we have not done the same for him. But today is going to be different, because today is all about commitment. I, Jonathan Conrad, commit myself to a personal relationship with Jesus. I invite each of you to commit to a personal relationship to Jesus. For those of you watching on the internet, I want you to reach out and commit to a personal relationship to Jesus. And to show you what this commitment entails, I believe most of you, if not all of you, in your bulletin received a card. If you did not receive a card, raise your hand and Ralph will make sure you have one. This is a commit card. And I invite you to put this simple card in your pocket, your Bible, your wallet. For those of you who have a mobile phone and you have those really fancy protectors, maybe find a spot that you can put it in. Just a place where you can get it and read it. For those of you watching at home, this is going to be available for you shortly on our social media platforms and our website, or you can also email me and I'll be glad to mail you one of these. So commitment is going to be done in 3 ways. Number 1, commit to a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Number 2, commit to a personal relationship with your neighbor being your family, your friends, your loved ones, your actual neighbors, including people you don't like. Number 3, commit to a personal relationship with St. Paul's, with this community of faith. This is our mission now. As you look at this card and feel the card and you read it and you hold it, hear these words from Joshua. Now, therefore, revere the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in faithfulness. Put away the gods that your ancestors served beyond the river and in Egypt, and serve the Lord. Now, if you are unwilling to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your ancestors served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Hear these words from Paul. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Put on the whole armor of God, so that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For our struggle is not against enemies of blood and flesh, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers of this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, so that you may be able to withstand on that evil day, and having done everything, to stand firm. And as you hold this card, hear the words of Jesus. Does this offend you? Then what if you were to see the Son of Man ascending to where he was before? It is the Spirit that gives life. The flesh is useless. The words that I have spoken to you are spirit and life. Hold this card. Read the words. Listen to Joshua. Listen to Paul. Listen to Jesus. And commit to Jesus, our neighbor, and this St. Paul's community. For those of you visiting, or for those of you who are watching, and as you get this card, for that third one, if you happen to be out of town or you choose another place to worship or have a faith community with, I urge you, I plead with you, have a relationship with that group. Please. And because this is going to be our mission, we will explore deeper into who Jesus is, who our neighbors are, and who are the people of the St. Paul community, and how everyone is invited to be in this community. Everyone, every single one. Because as we say at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, all means all. It really does. Now, will renewing our commitment to Jesus cure everything that is wrong in the world? No, but it will go a long way to healing what is wrong in our own lives. And because we are committing to Jesus today, we will love, protect, support, help, heal, and care about others again. Because today we are going to leave our old lives behind. Today we are going to leave our old lies behind. And today, at this moment, we are going to leave the liars behind. Sometimes it takes a deer to attack you for you to commit to Jesus and to come to Jesus. Today, we are going to come back to Jesus and commit to the one who has always and will always be committed to us. Amen.